Well, for heaven's sake, come on in. Have a chair.
Hello, Betty. I just thought I'd tell you that if you still think there's anything in that story of mine, go ahead, take it. It's all yours.
Why?
Well, it's no good to me. Help yourself. I mean it.
That doesn't make sense. Besides, I'm just not good enough to do it by myself.
Well, what about all those ideas you had?
You don't even know what they are. Maybe they aren't any good. Oh, look, Joe, please, if you're busy, maybe we could work evenings or even 6 o'clock in the morning.
Artie would just love that.
No, for the next month, Artie won't mind at all. He's out of town. Incidentally, we're engaged.
Oh? Huh. Well, good for you. You couldn't find a nicer guy.
That's what I think. Anyway, he's on location in Arizona, so I'm free every evening and every weekend.
Look, Betty, it can't be done. It's out. Now stop being chicken-hearted and write that story. And don't make it too dreary. Get a few laughs in it. So long, Betty. Good luck.
Oh, honest to goodness, I hate you.
As I walked back to the car, I saw someone talking to Max. He was just leaving. Then Max turned to me and looked at me, helplessly. What's the matter?
That man, one of the Mill's assistants.
Well?
The reason for all those telephone calls to Madame. It was not the mill. It was the property department who called.
Property department?
The car. They saw the car when I brought the script here. They want to rent the car for a Bing Crosby picture.
And DeMille's going to tell her then?
He will know what to tell her. He remembers her. He will not break her heart.
Take it easy. She's coming.
You see? Look at her. Look at her. She's radiant.
Well, how'd it go?
Oh, it couldn't have gone better. It's practically set. Of course, he has to finish this picture first. It's a circus picture. But I'm next. I'm sure I'm next. He said nothing would please him more than to work with me again.
Norma.
Oh, it's nothing. I just didn't realize what it would be like to come back to the old studio. Oh, what are you waiting for, Max?
Forgive me, Madam. Your arm, Madam.
After that, an army of beauty experts invaded the house. She went through a merciless series of treatments, like an athlete training for the Olympic Games. She went to bed every night at 9. She was absolutely determined to be ready. Ready for those cameras that would never turn.
Joe, darling, are you there?
Yes, Norma.
Don't turn around. Keep your eyes on the book. I just came down to say goodnight. I don't want you to see me. I'm not very attractive at the moment.
All right, good.
You know, I've lost 1 pound in the house since Tuesday.
Good.
You going to read all night?
Oh, for a while.
You went out last night, didn't you, Joe?
I went for a walk.
No, you didn't. You took the car. It's all right. It's just that I don't want to be left alone. Not while I'm under this terrible strain. All I ask is for you to be a little patient and a little kind.
Norma, I haven't done anything.
Of course you haven't. I wouldn't let you. Good night, darling.
Yes, she was right. I was playing hooky every night. That story of mine that Betty Schaefer had dug up kept going through my head like a locomotive. I'd phoned her. We'd started working on it, just the two of us in her office. Nights when the studio was deserted. And sometimes when we got stuck, we'd walk around the lot, just wandering down alleys between the sound stages or through the sets they were getting ready for the next day's shooting. It was on one of those walks that Betty first told me about her nose.
So naturally, my family expected me to become a great star. Anyway, the studio made a test, but they didn't like my nose. It slanted a little.
Oh, they're crazy.
Oh, no, they're not. So I went to a doctor and had it fixed. Then they gave me another test. This time they were crazy about my nose, but they didn't like my acting.
That's the saddest thing I ever heard.
Oh, not at all. It really taught me a little sense. So I got a job in the mailroom, then stenographic, and now I'm a reader.
3 cheers for Betty Schaefer. I will now kiss her nose.
Yes, you please.
May I say that you smell real special?
Must be my new shampoo.
No. No, that's not shampoo. It's more like freshly laundered linen handkerchiefs. And may I suggest that if we're ever to finish our story, you stay at least 2 feet away from me at all times. Now let's walk back to your office. It was long past midnight when I got back to the house. Max was waiting for me in the patio.
Mr. Gillis, you must be very careful. Madame may be watching. Mr. Gillis, I'm not inquiring where you go every night.
Well, why don't you? I'm writing a script, and I'm going to finish it.
It is just that I am greatly worried about Madame.
You're not helping her any, feeding her lies and more lies. What happens when she finds out there isn't going to be any pity?
She will never find out. That's my job. It's been my job for a long time. I made Norma Desmond a star, and I cannot let her be destroyed.
You made her a star?
I discovered her. I directed all her early films.
And she's turned you into a servant.
It was I who asked to come back, humiliating as that may seem. You see, I was her first husband.
The following night, as usual, I was in Betty's office. Betty was strangely quiet. It wasn't like her. Something had happened.
Sorry, Joe. I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, is it about me? What have you heard?
No. It's Artie. He sent me a telegram.
Oh, anything wrong?
He wants me to come on to Arizona, Joe. He said it only cost $2 to get married there.
Why don't you? Well, stop crying, will you? You're getting married. That's what you wanted.
I don't want it now.
Why not? Don't you love Artie?
Of course I love him. I always will. I'm not in love with him anymore, that's all.
What happened?
You did? Oh, Joe.
She'd been a fool not to sense there was something phony in my setup. And I'd been a heel not to have told her. But you just can't say those things to somebody you're crazy about. Maybe I'd never have to. Maybe I could get away with it. Get away from Norma. Maybe I could wipe the whole nasty mess right out of my life. As soon as I got back to that peculiar prison of mine, I went to Norma's room. The door was closed, but I could hear her talking.
Forgive me for calling you so late, Miss Schaefer, but I really feel it's my duty. Never mind who I am. You don't know Mr. Gillis. Exactly how much do you know about him? Do you know where he lives? Do you know how he lives? Miss Schaefer, I'm trying to spare you a great deal of misery. Very well, then. Ask him. Ask him.
Give me that phone.
No, Joe, no.
Give it to me. That's right, Betty. Ask me. Or better yet, why don't you come out and see for yourself? The address is 10,086 Sunset Boulevard.
Don't hate me, Joe. Don't hate me. I found a script in your room. Your name was on it. Your name and hers. I called her up because I need you. I need you as I never needed you before. Oh, look at me. Look at my hands. Look at my face. Look under my eyes. How can I go back to my work if I'm wasting away under this torment? You don't know what I've been through these last weeks. I bought myself a revolver. I did. I stood in front of that mirror, but I couldn't make myself do it. Don't just stand there hating me. Shoot at me, strike me, but don't hate me. Oh, no. What are you going to do? What are you going to do?